Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JayLeesCorner, and this is going to be a quick little recap, little review, okay, of The Best Man, the final chapters, the review. Okay, a lot. Look, I binged all 8 episodes in one day. I then rewatched all 8 episodes yesterday at my sister's house. So my sister, my mom, and my nephew. So I wanted to come to y'all to talk about the series. Look, if you have not seen the series, if you do not want any spoilers, I suggest you leave absolutely now, okay? Because while I won't be discussing every single thing from the episode, because I did not take no notes, so all of this will be off my dome, I will be discussing spoilers, okay? There will be spoilers around here. So again, if you have not seen all 8 episodes, get out, go away and come back after you have seen them, so no one can say you spoiled it for me. I told you I was gonna spoil it. I told you that from the beginning. I'm giving folks time to get in here. I'm giving folks time to get out. I'm giving folks time to do whatever it is they need to do. Okay? But I hope everybody had a great Christmas. Okay? Merry of the Christmas. Okay, we got the New Year coming up and whatnot. I'm trying to make sure I done pulled my braids down because I forgot to take my braids out the ponytail. But again, y'all know to do a couple of things first, okay? Make sure to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dot, okay? Because it's the thing to do. Subscribe to my channel. Now, also, don't forget to follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, also on Twitter. Do not forget to also like the video. If you are here, hopefully you've already hit the like button. Okay, don't be around here watching me for no reason and not like the stuff that you like. Okay, and y'all know this is just to share it and a comment in the comment section for the conversation that is the best man, the final chapters, which aired on Peacock. Okay, it was 8 1-hour episodes that came on, and I'm gonna tell y'all. First of all, I am here. Hello. Okay, we're out here just pretending that we have it together. I mean, because I'm rushing to this. I put the live up, I think last night, and I kept saying, girl, get on your computer. and get pictures of the episodes. Get on here and make sure you have, I ain't got that many screenshots or whatever. So again, this is gonna be really, really off my head. I ain't took no notes. I did watch the series twice, all 8 episodes twice, and I'm like, girl, it's gonna be what's gonna be. Okay, but whatever. Okay, but hi to the folks that are here so far. Okay, thank y'all for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, with us today. Okay, again, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I had a great day. We had a great day as a family. These braids. We had a great day as family, and we celebrated together. Had good food, and good eats, and good drinks, and good sleeps, and good naps, and all of that. Okay, but hi to everyone. Hello, my. That is my mama. Okay, but hi to all the people. Again, I hope everybody has already saw the series, because again, I'm telling y'all, I'm spoiling shit immediately. Okay, I watched all 8 episodes. My family, like, it was a great thing to watch. Okay, but hey, just finish it. Let's chat. So, okay, this won't be that long, y'all, because again, so let's start with the fact that the best man and the best man holiday, okay, is where all of this came from. I saw The Best Man, loved it. I saw The Best Man holiday. I only watched that movie one time because, again, spoiler, look, if you have not watched The Best Man holiday, The Best Man, the final chapters, get off here because I'm spoiling everything. I'm telling y'all, I'm not holding nothing up. Y'all lucky I ain't go live the day the stuff came out because that's when I watched it. I waited. Okay, it came out 4 days ago. My brains are itching, y'all. It came out 4 days ago. You should have watched it by now, and don't click on here if you don't want to know nothing. But again, the only reason I only watched The Best Man holiday one good time, if I watched it more than once, I've never watched it all the way through, is because when Mia died, it was so sad. I cried so hard, and I don't want to cry every time I see that movie and she died. I don't want to do that to myself at all. Okay, so for that reason alone, I never rewatched that one movie. But whatever. What I am happy about is how The Best Man, the final chapters, okay, we brought back all of the cast, even Mia. Mia, as y'all know, had 2 or 3 snippets in here, in flashback, with her and Lance, when LJ was born, when Lance was hallucinating a little bit. Well, no, he was dreaming. He was dreaming. And Mia was in his dream. So I like the fact that they were still able to incorporate all of the original cast. We don't have many films because the Best Man came out back in 93, I think it was. Or was it 96? No, 96. Back in 96. And the fact that each installment had all of the cast still in it, still looking good, might I say. Because the first one, The Best Man, look how they all still look good to this day. To this day, okay? So I love the fact that even the TV series, which was only 8 episodes, and I do wish, is that proper words? I do wish, I don't think so. I wish that it could go beyond the 8 episodes. This could sure enough be a series, a TV series that could last at least. They could have gave us 2 more. They could have gave us a full 3 seasons. It could have been a limited series, only 3 seasons, 8 episodes each season, and then be done. But I mean, because they dropped all 8 episodes, and I'm sure mostly everyone binge watch all 8 in a row, I feel like I need more. I want more in my life. Okay. Also, they all look good. Okay. They all look good. They all acted good and all of those things. And I was amazed at just how amazing the show was. Oh, 99. Okay, 99. I knew something in the 90s. Okay. But yeah. Okay. So glad you do this. Well, thank you. I was like, I had to. Look, it's the holiday time. I'm off work. Okay, ain't no TV shows, that we usually discuss around here. So y'all getting a whole bunch of extraness, from me. Okay, and I hope y'all enjoy. Okay, but yes, it was so good. I watched all 8 episodes. Me neither have to. Yeah, the funerals. Look, when they show on the series, because the series start off with a recap of the first movie, of the second movie. When they show Lance breaking down after, I say, no, Jesus, no, I can't do it. No, Lord, take me now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no. But yeah, Lance breaking down, Harper catching them and everything. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. But yeah, it could have really been a whole, and this, I want to say this too. Watching it proves to me there can be better television. There can be better, black cinema, black TV series that we can watch and really, really love. This series did a great job in tackling so much mental health struggles, the LGBTQ community, um, Karens, racial stuff, me time, you know what I'm saying? Sexual harassment, cheating, divorces, marriages, sneaking aroundness, intolerance of children and who they are. It was so much that it covered. It was literally 8 episodes, which was like 8 movies, like 8 mini movies, and I loved each part of it. Okay, we want more. Okay, we want more. Now I'm gonna tell y'all now, my review is not going to be in any kind of order. I'm gonna be all over the place. Okay, from the character stories to what I can remember to based on what y'all said in the comment section. So get y'all a snack, get some water. We're gonna be here for about an hour. Okay, good little time, good little chit chat and whatnot. Okay, but yes, we want more. Okay, I did. This is so good. I know the final chapter, but I hope they come out with a season. This is what I felt like. I said to myself, did they think, hey, we're gonna do this, TV series or whatever? We're gonna say it's a limited series, it's gonna be it's the final chapters, and y'all know the episode was like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 to up to chapter 8. I do wonder, did they think this may not be a huge success? We may not hit gold or platinum or whatever the most expensive substance is. So let's just do one swing of it and let it be. And I feel like they had no idea how much of a torrential rain pouring of greatness that it was, that everyone I know basically watched it, within the weekend, from the day it came out up until, whenever. And I watched it again the 22nd. What day was that? And because I was supposed to go, the day I watched it, I was going to go live. But once I got into the first episode, I could not stop. And then yesterday, I was asking my mom, like, hey, because my mom and my sister had not seen it yet. And I'm like, hey, mom, did you watch the show? She's like, well, no, I'm going to watch it because she's off work this week, too. And she's like, I'm going to watch it, this week when I'm off work. And at my sister's house, I said, well, hey, y'all, because after we open gifts or whatever, 8 open gifts, 8 breakfasts or whatever, I said, let's watch the best man. So I kind of made them sit down and watch it, whatever. And we sat there the whole time and I watched it again. So it was great. But again, I think once people got into episode 1, it was unstoppable. And I do wonder if they thought it would not be a phenomenon as it is, because everyone is like, I want more. Give me more. Give me more. I want more. Even though if it did not come back, I'm cool with how they wrapped up the story. It can go on for, I would say, about, because we do not want to beat a dead horse. I think if they wanted to do one more season and then see how that goes. And then, always the ending can always be wrapped up in some kind of bow. But it can give me one more, maybe 2 more, but not more than 2 more. I don't want to stretch it out too much. Okay. No. But again, I hope so. Yes, I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad they're giving us great black TV. Kindred reason. I have not gotten to Kindred because I'm not into the. I saw a preview and I was like, "Is those some spirits?" And not. I just don't. Y'all know I'm really careful about what I let into my spirit or whatever because I don't want to have nightmares. None of that. So I'm real. I don't know, but I heard great things about it, but I have not watched it. But Reasonable Doubt and Riches, I did watch. Quentin and Shelby were my faves. I agree. Very much so. I said the same thing. We don't have any black TV shows that are worth watching to me. I'll say this: there are black shows worth watching, but they're just like new shows. Like Andy said, I've heard great things about Kindred. I think I'm pronouncing right. Kindred. Reasonable Doubt was great, and so was Bridges, and both of those are black TV shows. So I do think sometimes we have to venture outside of the norm, i.e., Tyler Perry, to get to some of the great shows that are out there. Like I even like Rookies that has Niecy Nash on it, and the black man who used to be Holly Robinson Pete's husband on a different show whose name I can't remember, but y'all gonna know that black man if y'all see that black man. But I watch a lot of other shows that this has black actors on it for one, but also other shows. So as I think about them, maybe I'll post them on my timeline, not my timeline, on my community tab. I'm glad to let the ending open. Yes, because they're right. The ending was open to some things, even if the something was some kind of spinoff for one of the couples and not the whole group of the couples or whatever. It can be that way or whatever. But it ended in a way to where things could continue, but if it doesn't, it's okay. Okay. Terrence Howard said this was his Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, he did say he's gonna retire. But again, people say things and I believe them, but then again, not. I feel like again, I'm wondering, did people say things thinking we don't know how it's gonna hit? Terrence Howard might not want to do other stuff, but I feel like if he had to, he'll come back and play Quentin again. Other than that, it was funny. It was a good pace. Covered a lot. I agree. Okay, but let's get into a little bit of a show because I'm just going. I want to say the fact that they seamlessly took a movie, The Best Man, did not do a sequel for years. The Best Man Holiday, the Best Man Holiday was in 2013. So that was, 10 years ago. And was able to make this movie. And we love these characters. And the story went so great. So I'm trying to see how I can let's start with Lance. So, and I'm not covering everything with each photo. So, you know what I'm saying? Just follow me now. We see in the beginning, Lance ain't doing too good. Okay. Well, I'll say this too. Because my sister was like, how does it show? Why is it weird? So the episode start off and it's like 2024. And Harper's talking, and we like, hi, 2024. And it then shoots back to 2015. So this is about 2 years after Mia has died. You know what I'm saying? So it's 2 years later. Okay. Lance ain't doing too good. Lance around here banking hookers. Okay, Lance around here looking crazy. Okay, Lance around here just being extra. Okay, extra. And he looked bad. Okay, Lance looked bad. He came to the door naked. They're like, what the fuck what are you doing? What is you doing? Okay. But his issue is he's caught in grief. He's distraught. Mia was his life. Mia's not gone. He don't know what to do. And so what I liked was they did not shy away from showing what someone may do if their spouse dies and they just hit a downward spiral. Just down. And seeing him, I was like, why is this man? He got a beard too. What is going on? What? Somebody get him. Somebody help Lance. And the fact that Harper and Murch go check on him, and Harper like, no, he around here in a lot of ass. It's not drugs. It's not alcohol. He just having a whole bunch of sex. Okay, a whole bunch, okay. And Lance, no, he like, I just get lost. I be so sad, and then the girl start twerking her ass on me and bouncing that ass, and I just get. They're like, what, nigga, what? Fix yourself. Fix yourself. So I like the fact it was just funny to see them have to show, yeah, he's gone. Okay, but again, this is only 2 years after me passed, and he ain't grieving properly. He ain't doing it right. It don't look right. It's crazy. And I was like, girl. And it was cute how they played the scene with the two girls who they say look like they building cars. I don't know. But two girls who was like, I like the little one. It was just cute. It was cute. Now, we know the premise of them all coming together is because Quentin, again, is getting married. Now, y'all remember at the end of the last holiday, at the end of the holiday movie, he called them and said, hey, I'm getting married. And we all said, oh, was it him and Shelby? Because Quentin and Shelby, Shelby, who in the first movie was actually Murch's girlfriend, who they all went to college together. You know what I'm saying? Murch was a little puppy dog or whatever. And they broke up, and she ended up sleeping with Tara's house, got drunk and slept with Quentin. Shelby and Quentin in the second movie was always just will they, won't they? And at the end of it, again, they got together. Okay, so this movie was about, again, Quentin getting married. But Shelby said, what? Bitch, what? So Tracy Ellis Ross, Nicole Ari Parker plays Ziamara. Okay, Terrence Howard's fiance, who's just multi-talented, famous person or whatever, who we like, girl, what? Who? That's his girlfriend. That's what he can't be with her. No. Okay, so all the people is coming together for the wedding. Okay, it's for the wedding. We see that Shelby is a housewife. Okay, and Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen had a cameo. Okay, him and Shelby talking about when she found out that Quentin was getting married and how she flipped out on camera because she was married, was getting married and stuff or whatever. I thought that was cute. Okay, how they kind of incorporated what was really going on around that time. A lot of women were housewives. A lot of them were. So it would make sense that somebody was on one of them was on a housewife show or whatever. And so her and Quentin had been on again, off again for years, but now he getting married and she pissed. So that was cute, hilarious, because again, Ziamara, who was extra zen, sage, also a little bit fake or whatever, and her and Quentin, she didn't talk Quentin to love himself and no more smoking and drinking no more weed or whatever, and how Harper feel like this ain't right. Like he different. Like he can't. Like he not himself. I don't think it's a good thing. And I think another thing was the best man. He was the best man to Lance in season 1, Secret season 1 in the movie. And every time he's in charge as the best man, stuff go wrong. Okay, so he's now the best man in Quentin's wedding, and stuff is not going right. But he feel like he should not be with her. Like something ain't right. I don't know. And they're like, did you fuck her? We gotta be, because we never know with you. And my question about that was not only that, but I'm like, why does no one even bring up the fact that Murch used to be with Shelby and not Quentin, and Shelby over the years have been banging? That's weird to me. But again, no Harper did not have sex with Terrence Howard's future wife. Okay, but when Shelby busts up the party and she get there, because again, that's her man, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. Honey, Shelby came in there like a wreck. I came in like a wrecking ball. She came in to get her man, honey, and I was like, they was fussing and arguing, And even to see the dynamic of them fussing and arguing to where they end up having sex. So he cheats on the fiance with Shelby. And Shelby this whole time is like, I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna get him back. Okay. And I was, let's go ahead. Get 10 toes. Because I'm like already saying 10 toes. And you can't come here like business. I don't trust 10 toes. We're gonna go ahead and put that person out. We'll put him in time out. Okay? Because if you want some bullshit, we're gonna put you on out here. Okay, we're gonna put you on out. Anyway. But Shelby came in to get her man Quentin, was round here banging that man. Ziamara knew and said, how does my coochie say? I said, not how your coochie, not how your, what? When she said, let me know. I know you fucked my man last night. You had 2 balls in your mouth. Let me know how my cooch tastes. I said, no, cooch. He didn't take a shower. You can't. That's nasty. That is nasty. Thank you for becoming a member, Tony. But it's nasty. But when folks was like, Shelby, you're doing too much, you're embarrassing yourself, you need to go home. And fine, I'll go home. And she told that lady, if you fuck him over, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Okay, if you hurt him, I will kill you. So Shelby leaves, and when they tell her he left, when they tell him she left, Quentin like, she gone for real? I don't want to go. And he chases after Shelby down to the airport. I can't be without you. I don't know who I am without you. I love you, girl. Okay, I love you. On bending knee and all. So they all went to the resort for him to marry Ziamara. He fucked around and he married Shelby. Now, him and Shelby are husband and wife. Now, they became the fan favorite, mainly because they literally had the most stable marriage throughout the series, okay? Because the series spans from 2015 to 2024. Okay, so it spans over all that time. And I was like, it's crazy to me that they became the fan favorite because I kept on saying, that's Murch's ex-girlfriend, and now it's Quentin's wife. We're not going to talk about that. I'm going to leave that be. But again, they are happy in love. We do find out her daughter, who she has or whatever, is really Terrence Howard's daughter. If she didn't tell the little girl or tell Terrence Howard, I'm calling him Terrence Howard or Quentin, I don't know. If she didn't tell them that was his child until they got married, and because again, the daughter called him Uncle Quentin. Because again, they all family. The daughter called him Uncle Quentin, and so they called to tell the daughter, hey, when your mom got married, and then he said, I just want to be the best, stepfather I can be to her. How about her real father? He said, I don't want to, take the place of her father, but you are her father. I'm like, we knew it. We knew it from the last movie that, yes, Q is Kennedy's father. Luke, I am your father. And I was like, so Shelby, who used to be Murch's full-time girlfriend, okay, girlfriend, who he broke up with, okay, she then fucked Quentin. Okay, they were then fucking off and on for years, okay, to where she got pregnant by Quentin, did not tell anybody that Quentin was the baby father, okay, and now that they're in love and married, she then says, you're actually her birth father. I'm like, we're not going to discuss that? Okay. Whatever. Okay. But the reason I feel like they were the favorite couple was because once they were married, they did really love each other. Okay. I like how Quentin stayed when he was still rude, an asshole, tell her how it is. Person, Shelby was still Shelby, but they were adults. Okay, Shelby was no longer this self-centered person who did not care about other people. You can tell she cared about her friends, her husband, her daughter. So she was still herself, but it's a grown-up version of herself or whatever. And it was great to see them, this happy couple. Okay. And even though Terrence said, once they got married, COVID happened and everything, and Shelby wasn't working no more, and they kept having all this sex. He was tired. He was popping Viagra. So again, regular shit. Even when they showed the span of what happened, because like I think in episode 2 or 3, it goes from it's 2015, and it speeds up over the years from 2015, 16, 17, 18, up to 2022. So we see how stuff had happened, but for this couple with Quentin and Shelby, he had opened up new locations of his hotel stuff, whatever. But COVID hit, shit went down or whatever, closed and things, and saying, but it was cute seeing them. So that was that couple. Okay, I want to get to Murch and Candace. I feel like also one thing with Shelby and Quentin, if you think about it, Shelby was never really a big part of the stories in the first 2 movies. I like how we got a full view of who she was, how she is as a mom, as a wife, as a friend. So I like how in this series they made sure each person got shine. Each person was able to play out their character. Nobody played a back role or whatever. I like that. Let's move on to Candace and Murch, who, again, she was a stripper working her way through college. They met, fell in love, got 2 daughters. Okay, great, great, great. I hated the wig they had on her hair in this series. She looked like I was like, really? But I feel like she had mom hair. I think her and Murch have fell into this routine, mom and dad, co-parents together in love or whatever. But the fact that we saw some of the love or lust, the sexual connection in their marriage was gone because she's busy working in school. He is so focused on being a father and a husband. The fact that the big thing with them two to me was they were like 2 ships passing in the night. Both wanting more but not being able to say what they wanted. Also, I feel like they really touched on, how as a parent, sometimes you have no me time. But they usually do that with the moms, and this time they did it with Murch. Most movies will show how a mom is so caught up in doing everything for the family, they've lost themselves. And this time they showed how that can happen to fathers because they had to open all them schools up. And he is the doting dad, always doing this, always doing this, always doing that, or whatever. But he never had any time for himself. And him having the conversation with Terrence Howard in one scene where he said, like, I just all this stuff be happening. I feel like I have no control over this or that. And Terrence said, like, you need some Murch time. You need some me time because you're so busy being the husband and the father and the teacher and building these kids to your school. Like, when do you have time for you? Because if you don't find time for you, you're gonna explode. Okay, and I was like, that is some good stuff because no one thought about that. Murch was always just Murch, good old nice Murch, always being nice, kind of a pushover, you know what I'm saying? Can't hold his secrets, whatever. But in this show, we saw how that perception of him hurt him for one. And because he kind of dialed into it, it hindered him from being grown. Now, when they was at the little resort or whatever, during the wedding stuff, all of them took some some herb, okay, that sent them on a trip to figure things out. And with Murch, I felt like his was so directly indirect of him saying, I can feel everything, but I can't move. I have all these feelings and I can't move and I can't do anything with all these feelings. And I was like, that's how he was in life. He would feel things and just bury them. He just wouldn't move on them. And he was just stuck in how he felt and he could not, get it out. I'm like, he gonna explode. And the fact that when he left that lunch with his 2 daughters from meeting up with Terrence Howard's character, he goes outside. He encounters a Karen. Him and the daughters hail a cab. No one else is around. He hailed the cab. cab stop, one daughter get in and sit down. A white woman with a dog come from across the street and get in the cab as if it's her cab. And then Karen out, well, don't attack me, don't attack my dog, leave me alone. Police, help, help, he's still in my cab. The police walk up, ignore Murch and his daughters and say, sir, wait a minute, white woman, what do you say? And he was like, the fuck? And he had to just bury it. He had to bury it. And no one knows how it feels to have to bury, because he always buries his feelings. And even though he did not do anything wrong, he tried to just do the right thing and say, ma'am, no, it's our cab. We were here first. The cab driver, a black cab driver, who was like, figure it out. I'm like, Negro, you know for a fact you saw him hail you down. You pulled over to where he was. So that made me mad, because I'm like, again, but that happens in everyday life. You have these nice people like Murch who was just minding his business, and then some white woman with I said, me, I would have cut the dog leash off, hope the dog ran into traffic. Ma'am, go. Okay? Because it was sad seeing him have to swallow his pride, because I have to also make it home to my family, because the police is also saying, well, sir, she's upset. It's just a cab. I'm like, it pissed me off. It made me so mad. And even hearing the two daughters, who were both at this time teenagers, having two different thoughts about it, where the younger daughter said, why didn't dad do anything? And the older one was like, dad could have got killed. You pissed because he didn't do something, not knowing him doing something could have got him killed. But that also applied to what he thought. So I was like, again, Murch having all these feelings and it being stuck up in his body. And then again, when he was talking to, he was sitting there folding clothes, and a MMA commercial came on, and Murch said, okay, I'm going to go learn and get my energy out, my anger out, because he was mad at that white woman. He was mad. And we see a scene to where he sees the same white woman in at an eatery, and he has these visions of confronting her, of going off, and all these things that go on. But in each moment, he feels like, if I approach her, she's going to cry. If I approach her, she's going to, it's going to be bad on me. Not on you, on me. And so he just kind of walked past her, kept moving, and then did not even, I'm cutting on the little subscriber, or not subscriber, but slow-mo, because I see people, these bots. So that way it gives bots, we can get time for the mod to get them. I cut on slow mode. But anyway, but yeah, when he see the lady, he has these thoughts about what he could do, but each thought brings him to, it'll still be my fault. And so when he walks past her, his fist is clenched because he's pissed. But again, he's having all these feelings, he can't do shit about it. So he goes, he does MMA fighting. What started off as just him boxing and just, doing the stuff in the gym. And they then said, you should do MMA because you'll be good. And he was able to do the MMA and get all his frustrations out. No one knew. But again, I felt like Murch's story was the best thing. And even, we know also in this series that Harper's book is going to be made into a movie. And when they all agreed to let it happen, but when Murch sees how they have his character being portrayed, and he no longer feels like he's that way in current time, but you, my best friend, Harper, and you're allowing them to have someone play me as if I'm the simp. And that's not who I am. And not only that, y'all talk about me as if I'm this pushover asshole, like y'all basically question my manhood. And to me, that showed you're teenagers, you're in college, you're early 20s, and jokes are jokes. But when I'm in my 40s and you're talking about me as of who I was in high school and in college, that's the issue, because I'm not that person anymore. And where you think is a joke, I don't find that shit funny. and Murch having to physically, not physically, but had to verbally tell Quentin, y'all talk shit about me all the time. Yes, you may have other people around you who question you, but have you ever had your best friends literally question who you are? And it makes me feel like shit. And I was like, Murch, it made me feel so sad. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. Yes. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not in the comment section because I want to be able to keep my thoughts together, but I want y'all to fully comment, but I just can't see stuff because I'll get confused. But I just pop on and see stuff. But yeah, I was also proud of Murch for speaking up for himself because it wasn't even about him speaking up for himself for any other reason besides Murch was setting boundaries at that point because you saw they was like, "Where's Murch? Where's Murch?" He wasn't around as much because he was prioritizing his me time. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work out. I'm going to box. I'm going to MMA fight, get my ass beat, but also win. But it's me being able to get all of my shit out. And when Quentin went to talk to him, because when you been, and he like, man, you being sensitive. He like, see, that's what I mean. Why am I sensitive? Because I'm saying I don't like how I'm being portrayed. When Harper know me, that ain't how he should look at me. He's allowing people to also laugh at me. Okay. And I was like, it was amazing. I loved that he stood up for himself and he stood up to himself. He stood up for himself with how he felt emotionally. He stood up for himself, how he felt with his friendship and his marriage. And when we see the guys know something wrong with him and they go to an MMA fight and they see him fighting and they support him and they know how to handle him now. Now, even his wife, Candace, who had to, I won't say Candace, on the wedding trip, okay, with the shaman or whatever, they took the stuff or whatever, and her stuff, because their daughter suffered from anxiety. And she was like, I want to figure out some kind of way to help her organically, naturally, without medication. So she got fixated on doing a paper about like, different herbs, different plant-based whatevers, be it weed, this or that or this, that can help people who suffer from different mental illnesses. And so she's so focused on that. That's her main thing, plus the school. But you can kind of see in some points where she was so used to leaning on Murch because it's her husband. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but you can kind of see a little bit to where she will when I get to what part? Which part, Angie? Who y'all talking about? I'm not going any. I'm just trying to go, keep person by person. Because it's 8 episodes, 8 hours, okay. But I don't want to lose my train of thought. But I can't see our comments just yet. But when I'm done, we can always ask questions and have that stuff, okay. But no. See, I just forgot that fast. Oh no. During the episode, you could see how Candace really leaned on Murch. If she couldn't do something, he would always just do it, even if he didn't want to. Even if he, wanted his own time, he will always, sure, I'll take the girls to violin practice. I'll take the girls here and there. I'll do this. I'll do that, even if it meant he had no time for himself. He was making sure to prioritize everyone else over himself, and again, I do not want to say that Candace abused his people-pleasing trait, but I can see how she was so used to that's how he was. It just didn't pop in her head how, what I'm saying, maybe I shouldn't always make him do stuff because I want to do something else. And again, her being in school, being focused on that, she didn't realize how bottled up Murch was getting about stuff. And you would see sometimes when she would say, hey, can you do? Sure, honey. You know what I'm saying? So telling her yes. And then when she's having a hard day, he's also being very, very supportive to her. But then us even seeing how he would say how like we don't have that much sex anymore. He said it to Quentin's character. And to see when they would wake up and then if she wanted sex, they would have sex. But if he did, she's like, no. You know what I'm saying? But he would just take it. But they still had a good marriage, but they were also in a rut. Now, Candace's storyline to me was she just wanted to help her daughter. She just wanted to help her daughter, and she wanted to do it in her own way. She was in school writing this paper. Was the paper this whatever it was, okay? And her advisor wasn't really believing in her work. She then is in this teacher's class, this world-renowned, amazing professor or whatever. She gets this class, and she's like, okay, can you be my advisor? Because you kind of get my point and this and that and the other. And he agrees to be her advisor. And the fact this came into play because I didn't see it coming at first. My thought process was going to be, he going to take her work as her own. And that's what I thought it was going at first. And then I was like, that ain't what it is. That ain't what it is. And then to see him sexually abuse her, he sexually assaulted her by rubbing her shoulders and grabbing her boob. And she's like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to take it. And luckily a housekeeper or person walked into the room because they were at school. She had a paper due and she was tired of him sending notes. Hey, can we meet up? We can just do this together. So that way it's not a back and forth thing. I'm available tonight from 6 to 8. And then she's like, dang, I had, my daughter's school thing. Hey, Murch, I need you to do this because I got to do something else. And he got pissed like, you are telling me the whole plan all this time was you were going to do this with the girls. I had my shit planned or whatever. And to her, she felt like, well, if you weren't going to Harper's premiere party, why can't you do this? And him saying, I had me time planned, but fine. You were supposed to do something with the girls. You don't want to now, so I'll do it. Again, he's sucking it up because whatever. But again, she then went to the professors, to the school, and they work on a paper or whatever. And then we see the man on the phone with his wife. I love you, blah, blah, blah. And the minute he touched her shoulder, I said, this motherfucker here. Yeah, I did not see that coming. I did not. Not until he touched the shoulder. And then when I thought back to the conversation, because Murch and Ken had a party. She had invited him over to the party, the teacher, the professor. And he and Murch were talking. And when he said to Murch, we all have to find an outlet or else they'll win. Meaning we all have these frustrations. We all have these feelings about stuff. And if we do not find an outlet to get out what we want to do, how we feel, I was like, so in my head, I was like, did that mean his outlet for whatever that goes on in his life is for him to abuse and assault the girls, the women in his classes? I was like, the fuck? Keisha, I didn't think about that. Didn't see him as a threat. That's very, very possible. That is very, very possible. Either way it go, it pissed me off. Okay, it pissed me off. I was like, someone punch him in the face. Murch beat his ass. Okay, and to me, after it happened, thank God she got away. Is any mods? Okay, mods right here. Mods, if y'all here, please watch out for the spam people to get them blocked. All the mods who are in the room. Please, thank you. Thank y'all. But I thought it was what I thought was gonna happen when Murch found out, because it happened earlier in the episode and Murch didn't find out till later. And even seeing Candace come home, and she come home, Murch had then went to his MMA fight, was all beaten up or whatever, home, passed out, and she walked in the house. You could see her thinking to stop and wake up and tell him, but she didn't. And to me, that was like, okay, that's them in a rut to where neither of them is being honest with each other about how they're feeling and what's going on. Because she walked past him and then walked to the stairs and was crying. And I was like, I was just so mad. I was so mad. And then from there, we see them both Murch and May fight, and she don't know, and her just being stuck in that motherfucker tried me, and I can't say shit or whatever until the girl, because again, Murch and May fighting was on TikTok, whatever. She finds out the daughters, and so he then tells her how he was just so mad about things, and that's how he would just get out his anger. And he sees, so now he's being honest with her, and he finally see she's not saying something, and he's like, "What's wrong?" What's like, okay, what's going on? And she shows him a letter she was writing to the school because the teacher was going to get like some honorary whatever. And when Murch reads the paper, the statement she was writing, saying how he assaulted me and tried to gaslight me and tried to, do all these things or whatever, he was like, motherfucker, what? He was right here. He was right. And I love that he was pissed. He did not keep it. He outwardly was pissed. But I also love in that same breath that Candace said, I don't need your anger. I need your love. Like, it's okay. Because it ain't your fault. It ain't my fault. I've already went over. If had I not changed professors, had I not skipped the girls' thing that all these things I thought to myself, and it ain't nobody's fault but his. And the big thing with Candace and Murch was they were supposedly planning a vow renewal. And this whole big vow renewal that kept kind of getting messed up or whatever. And as they both stood in their kitchen, Murch all beat up because he had just came from an MMA fight. Murch all beat up, and then being honest with each other about not being not honest about whatever. If we say, how are you? We have to be honest with each other. So Murch, who usually was so, okay, honey, yes, it's like, no, not anymore. We're going to be honest about whatever's going on. And them two in their kitchen basically renewed their vows, renewed their love, renewed their connection in that conversation of him saying, I was so stuck in my emotions, I could not express shit. And her, I was so just overcome with all the feelings of what happened to me. I couldn't tell you. Both of them just grew as a couple, as individuals. And I loved it. I also love how I think she felt like, I think she realized how much she put on him, and not in any manipulative, bad way, just husband and wife. Husband, can you do this? Sure, wife. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And how it wasn't a big fight. It wasn't a knockdown, drag out. I hate you. I can't believe like you. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, is Murch gonna go beat a nigga ass? Is Murch gonna beat is Murch gonna go beat that man ass? Because he's a fighter now. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he gets out his aggression in the ring, though. But I love how she told him, I don't need your anger because it's not your fault. I don't need that. I need your love. And I was like, come on now, black woman and black man. We need. I was like, yes. I was so happy at how the scene played out and how their characters navigated, because they're a happy couple. They're a happy couple. But in their happiness, they both had just bits of, uneasiness. Okay. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So that's what kind of stuck out to me for Murch and Candace. I want to get back to Shelby and Terrence Howard's character because I forgot a couple things. They're married. They're in love. And his father, who is an asshole, okay? I posted it on my IG where when the father first pops up at the wedding or whatever, he does a fat joke. Oh, Harper, how's your child? Oh, she's getting older and bigger. Well, don't let her get fat. because fat women, they don't have. I was like, was that even fucking that? So I was like, why was the fat joke? I was like, I whatever. But folk was like, well, no, I think that was showing how old folk just say shit and be rude. And I was like, I know, but I don't like it. But again, he had said other things too, but I was stuck on that because I'm fat. I kid, okay. Anyway, but his dad, who's getting older, and them realizing he ain't doing it. I think it probably was a bit of dementia because the dad who runs the business or whatever, he's falling, he's forgetting things. He paid the lady 5 times in 1 month because he's not all there. They get to the house, him and Shelby get to the house, and the house is a mess. Because the dad he's not doing good. And what the father feel like, well, Terrence wants to take away my independence. He wants to, he doesn't want to do anything. He's like, no, nigga, I care about you, Dad. He's like, I love you. Okay, you may be an asshole to me most of the time, but I love and want the best for you. And so to see that dynamic of as we get older, our parents get older. And having to realize, one, Terrence having to realize his father is not the strong man he used to be. His father slowly just getting older. I think a bit of a dementia. And him having to do more about him. And, because that's what happens as you... The point of this series to me was showing they're not the same kids they were, in the first movie. All of them has changed in some kind of way. And include Terrence's character, who now is in love with his wife, loves his daughter. The daughter Kennedy knows he's her real father, even though she'll call him Q. But seeing him and Shelby having to take care of the father, and then even on the phone call later on in the episodes, we see how he has a nurse and the daddy is getting worse, and so they're having to pay the nurses more to take care of him. But even when Terrence said to him, Dad, what do you think Mom would say if she saw? Because the house was a mess. Okay, what would Mom say if she saw this? And that maybe Dad realized, okay, she wouldn't like this shit. Okay, so do whatever with the business, do whatever. I don't care. But again, this them coming around to having to take care of the daddy. Now, even Terrence Howard's character was out here doing drugs, not smoking weed here and there, whatever, drinking, all these things, and he ends up having a fucking heart attack. I was like, no, because Terrence said, I've done the best I could, I'm quitting. And I'm like, did Terrence Howard say he quitting because the character died? I was like, no, he dying. So him and Shelby laughing and joking and playing around or whatever, and he kind of just falls to the ground, and she like, get up, Quentin, what are you doing? And he's like, you call somebody. I'm like, no, you can't kill him. No. Okay. He makes it, but he has to stop. No more smoking, slow down on drinking. Just stop doing shit, because the mild heart attack ain't to play with, okay? So again, even him coming to grips with, okay, I'm getting older. I can't keep doing whatever I want. And in the scene later on, because she's giving him cauliflower meals, macaroni heat without no cheese. Like she's doing all these things you do when someone has a heart attack. And he hates it because he's so used to doing whatever it is he wants to do. And him having to also realize he is not the same young whippersnapper he was 20 years ago. And when he and Kelsey, or him and Kelsey, when he and Shelby are like kiss, because he couldn't have sex for a minute either. And when they're kissing, she's taking his pulse. And he's like, what the fuck? I can't eat this. I can't smoke. I can't drink. I can't do any things. And I could do whatever before I got married. I should. And she's like, oh, so you gonna leave me? Well, fine, leave me for the one of the young hoes who don't have any idea what the signs of a heart attack is or whatever. And she like, I just love him so much. I am worried because I don't want to lose him. And in his head, he like, I'm not a fucking baby. Okay, so them having had that conversation, even her having to say, look, our daughter, who was spoiled, she's spoiled, and how she's able to trick him to buy her this or that because that's her daddy. And when she said you're gonna eventually have to parent her. We can't always be her friend. And the daughter would not call him dad; she called him cute because she always had since she was little. And when he felt like he was riding a bike, working out, and he like, you can't say hi, whatever. Like, I pay all the bill, like I do all this shit. I pay the bills or whatever. I can't get a fucking respect. And he kind of has these pains and he's scared. And he passes out a little bit. And she's like, Dad? So for the first time she calls him dad. And he like, call 911, but don't leave me. Don't, did you call me dad? She's like, yeah. So even it took her seeing him on the floor dying or whatever, for her to call him dad, and then made him happy. He just had a little bit of a pinched nerve. He didn't die. It was cute. But even, him coming to grips with, okay, Shelby, I'm sorry for being an asshole. I had a pinched nerve. Our daughter called me dad. You know what I'm saying? It made me know I'm not young. I have to get older. Because if I don't get older, I die. I don't want to die. So I'm okay with what comes with aging. Okay, we're going to grow old together. I love you. So I thought that was a great thing. Okay. So much. Okay. Who we have left? Let me see. I'm trying to think. We did Murch and Candace. Okay. We did Quentin and Shelby. Okay. I'm gonna go to Lance. We know Lance initially looked a mess. Okay. He initially looked a mess. I did not like it. It made me mad, but whatever. But he kind of got himself together. A little bit. Wait, no. First of all, I need y'all to take 1 second and like the video. I was thirsty. Okay. So back to Lance. Lance was a mess. Okay. Lance's story starts off, it's 2 years after Mia's death and he's still grieving. He's still depressed about her being gone. He's lost his heart and he don't know what to do. Okay. He does not know what to do. And I was like, sir, put some clothes on. Okay. But he does, progress throughout the season, the episodes. But the first thing I think they kind of tackled was grief and, just not being good with losing a spouse and not knowing what to do. So, on the island, he met this lady who we know at the end he ends up with her at the end, but he's on this island. He didn't have sex. Lance had sex with 2 chicks in the room. Lance got to the island, had sex with the driver in the car. Okay. He then had sex with 2 other girls on the island. He went to the pool naked, and he will supposed to be naked. So we see him going through all these things. This is downward spiral of grief on this island because again he was just just depressed, just sad and depressed. You know what I'm saying? But the girl who was like a concierge or whatever, it's like talking to him like, this is the great island. You should find out why they picked this island because it's sacred or whatever, And he kind of confides in her about how he's so, he misses his wife and how she would love this place or whatever. And the girl kind of makes an impression on him little by little, but she's engaged. So again, he leaves because she was engaged, whatever. They meet up years later, but it's fine. But even how he was feeling connected to her because of her, I think reminded him of Mia. And so it was cute kind of seeing that progress and stuff. Okay. So again, he is not as depressed as he was. At one point, his dick stopped working or whatever. He kept trying to get some stuff. It was crazy. It was crazy. But once he had the dream about Mia and the girl face popped up, as Mia, he could not be around here banging everybody's teeth. Okay. So again, he got better. He got better and whatnot. Now I want to touch on him and his son. Okay, because something else they touch on this thing. LJ, MC, and Lance Jr., who is now a teenager. He's playing college ball. And what we did not know until it came out, he is non-binary. Okay, so we first see the son, and he's in his school uniform. He's working at Jordan's, where she work at, the news station or whatever. And he is still this football playing son of Lance Sullivan who wants him to play football or whatever. But you can see he doesn't, it's something. It's something. And in the one scene where we see Jordan say, hey, you do not have to wear your school uniform here. You can wear whatever you want to wear. And then I'm like, okay, we then see a scene of Lance giving him some new shoes, because Lance at one point went back to try to play football. I was like, nigga, what? He was 48, retired, went out for a little camp or whatever. He did not make it, but ended up hiring him for an assistant coach. But again, at that point in time, he had got shoes for some sneakers or whatever. And he's like, all right, Dad, I gotta go. I can't do that. And we see a boot. He had a little boot. I'm like, that's a boot. Well, he went to work and he wore what he wanted to. And Jordan, oh, okay. He said, I'm non-binary. I'm them, they, and all that stuff. And Jordan, who was the godmama, was like, you know what? Your mama would have supported you. Your daddy, though. Your daddy a little bit different. Okay. Have you told him yet? You have to tell him or whatever. He said, no, not yet. Because he on some bullshit. Okay. The fact that we see LJ really wasn't much different in his own world. He was just a bit more free with it. It wasn't like I like that they touched on it because a lot of people are different. And it showed how some folk accept the person and some folk do not. Okay. And the fact that, he told Jordan, who was his godmama, then Kennedy, who is, Shelby and Quentin's daughter, she knew, which made Terrence Howard find out because he walked in, because the music was, he walked in, he was, dressed, up or whatever. But no one wanted to tell Lance. They're like, don't tell Lance. Like, he should not. Like, we can't. Like, we have to let LJ come out to his father. Let LJ come out to their father in their own time. Okay. And it was crazy because he told his dad, like, Dad, I don't want to play football no more. They took, LJ, I'm just gonna say LJ. LJ told the father, no more football. Okay. And they did not want to say anything else about whatever. And it wasn't until Shelby and them, they was all drunk, and Shelby had like a fake page to follow her daughter, and the daughter posted a video of her and LJ, because LJ said, go ahead and post it. I got to eventually. And they then could not see it. So Shelby then puts it up on the big screen. And when Lance walks in, Lance sees it, like, who was that? Kenny, one of her little friend? LJ? And so he walks into the room. LJ is fully in, is in lipstick. LJ has makeup on, which pisses Lance off. And Lance tells them, look, fuck all that. No. Lance was the most intolerable, ignorant version of a parent that I've ever seen. Okay. Just in total denial that LJ was who LJ said LJ was. LJ was clear. I'm non-binary. I am both feminine and masculine energy. Like I'm both of them. Um, and when Lance asked LJ, "Are you gay?" He said, LJ said, "I don't know. I'm non-binary," and it was just an intolerant way that Lance is completely was like, you know what? I don't care. You can't be that. You're not gonna be that. Wipe that shove your face and let's go. And he completely just ignored LJ's compassionate explanation to who they were. And even the fact that we seen when Terrence Howard knew, Jordan knew. So when Terrence Howard called Jordan, like, did you know the LJ was non-binary? And I'm like, nigga, girl, that scene was so funny. You know, non-binary. She's like, no, it was binary. So they were having the conversations where they would have to explain it to each other, and they called Lance, and then they called Murch, and it was a lot. That scene was funny, but I like how Terrence Howard eventually was saying the right shit, like, you know, them and they and we, a whole other pronoun. Can't tell. It was funny. It was funny, but I like how they all really supported LJ except for Daddy. Um, Lance completely ignored the son stuff, was going to give his clothes away, the female clothes he had or whatever, which made the son run away. They were scared he had killed himself or whatever, and Lance was upset because, you know, he felt like God need to save my son. And when the police came, like, look, your son, your child who goes by them and they could have killed themselves, because that is what happens to people who are like that. They're at a higher risk where they're having to hide who they are. And so they found him, though. They found LJ. Who said, but LJ said, if I can't be myself, if I'm not loved in your house, if I'm not loved in God's house, like where can I be accepted at? And the fact that LJ and a friend of his, LJ and a friend was able to find a pastor who just accepted them. It was no judgment. It was like God loves all of his children. And it took Lance almost losing LJ and being told by the cop, like, you know, a lot of kids like this ends up killing themselves. Talking to LJ's friend who said, like, I don't have to hide at home, so I'm different than who they are. They have to hide at home. I don't. So I don't know. Okay. But in the end, he grew to understand the son or whatever. He realized it's not, I can love my son regardless. Okay. Regardless. And I was like, it was cute. It was cute. I liked it. Anyway, I enjoyed the series, but I was confused between episode 3 and 2 because I expected Robin and Harper to still be on the island after she jumped from the yacht, saying she was taking a leap of faith. I think. Well, I don't. I think from episodes 2 to 3, they skipped over a lot because episode 2 to 3, that is a like 7-year time jump. So I would say to not think so much into what was missed, because you can think whatever you want happened in those 7 years. They could have stayed there. They could have stayed there for a little bit of a minute, but at the end of the day, they ended back up in New York. So I think, you know, the time jump for me showed life happens and you do not have to know because again, you can't recap 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And that. So I like how they paced it to show things happen. I think the leap of faith was also not her really being in on that island. It was her doing her own thing with the food stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think the fact that she said in episode 1, I should have thought more about meal prepping thing or whatever. And we see during that transition, they showed that she opened her own new business. So that was her leap of faith. Okay, so I think, you know, nobody is gonna, you know, there's a lot they could have covered, but they had to stick to the main. I think a main thing was not about her staying on the island. I think that still ended up playing out with them in their house and her moving to Ghana. So I think, you know what I'm saying, it's still, she still wanted to be somewhere else, and that still played out in a whole different way. So if maybe you did not watch the whole thing to see that toward the end, I'm not sure. Let's get to Jordan. Okay, where's Jordan's picture? Do I have Jordan? So Jordan, Jordan is Jordan. Jordan is single. Had just broke up with somebody, whatever. I don't think Jordan and Harper were ever going to be in game. Um, Jordan has always come off as, I'm going to be the fierce, workaholic, successful black woman, and that's who I am. I think that's who she was in every movie. Um, there's always a bit of flirtation between her and Harper, which I wish they would have not done in this series, but they did. I loved how they did show her being more open to stuff. Her being open to Swordfish Bay on the resorts. Her being open to the ex who came back around, who was also an asshole, who was invested in the prisons. Um, I loved how she became the head of MSNBC, but also how we see how she was not prioritizing her own self, how she was having these issues with these headaches, and she was working too hard. She was working too hard. That was stressing her out. Stressing her out. Okay, I am stressed. I want to go home. I can't do that. I can't do this. It was a lot. I feel like Robin's story in this series was really about females in the workplace being worked to the bone, not thinking about ourselves, not realizing you do not have to be so focused on your job and your career path. And I think that was Jordan's story, that all we saw was her work. And then also her deflecting. And because she was so busy in work or whatever, I think that's probably why she didn't have no damn successful relationship. But seeing her get so stressed that her vision was messed up or whatever, she was just stressing herself out. Stressing herself out, but also seeing her be a good support system to Lance and helping him raise the kids. She was, godmama. So that was also part of her thing. Even her admitting how, I thought, because she at one point she thought she was pregnant, and turned out she wasn't. But her admitting how I feel like that was gonna be my last shot. So even a career woman who has sacrificed having children and thinking that could have been the one time I had it, and it didn't happen. But I liked it. I liked it was a true, in my opinion, representation of some people who are really focused on work and don't realize they don't have to be that focused. And the end scene for her when she's at work after she's had these medical issues, LJ was missing, but it was found. All these things, and she's sitting there in the meeting, and it's all these people, white folk, whatever. This is wrong. This is wrong. There's all these things going on, and she has to handle it all. She's like, and she's listening and listening and listening to whatever. And they're like, so Jordan, what do you think? What are you gonna do? I'm gonna leave. And she gets up and she walks out as Break My Soul plays. I just quit my job. They worked me so damn hard. And it was true. And her realized, like, I can't do that. I can still be a producer on this and that. But again, that shit was too much. Too much. So to me, Jordan did not have such a huge storyline. That we will never know because she wasn't pregnant. But yeah, I think it was Demetrius. That was who she was. That's who we know she slept with. Okay, that's who we know she slept with. But I still liked. I think because in the movie, a lot was about her. This series wasn't mainly focused on her as much as it was really. Do I have this stuff right here? Where's girl? I don't think I have these. Oh, this to me was the main focus of the series. Everything to me was kind of around Harper and Robin. Um, Harper's book, who's going to be a movie, him having to, and I want to say this, Harper is the worst friend. Harper is a Harper is a horrible friend for many different reasons. I think over the years, Harper has become, in my opinion, he hasn't changed. He's gotten older, and he might not be trying to fuck up stuff, but he still be fucking up stuff. Okay. People also felt like Harper and Robin were not in goals. They felt like, she didn't really love him, whatever. They got married just to be married or whatever. And who would have known they would be married all these years later? I feel like Harper and Robin ending was mainly because neither of them wanted to do what the other one wanted to do. Harper always wanted what he wanted. Harper was someone who would express what he wanted and would go for it. And the problem with that was Robin was the opposite. Robin would just, as she said, I would follow his lead. And when they went to therapy, and the therapist said, we can't expect our person to be a mind reader and be upset when they're not. So when they went to counseling because all their issues or whatever, and she complained about all this stuff, and he then said, I feel blindsided. I can't believe it. And she said, see? And I was like, I didn't think Robin realized all the anger she had. She never told him. As she said, I just went along with it. And that is not in defense of Harper. I just mean we really can't be upset that we're upset about something we have not told the person, hey, I'm hating this and I'm hating that. So them on the beach or whatever, and Robin saying, I want to stay here. We should just stay here. And he was like, I don't know. We should stay here. And she jumped off the boat. Okay, you can jump, but they ended up back in New York. Harper was always doing what Harper wanted to do, and she would say, okay. When he then wanted to get that big ass house, and she did not want to get that big, she wanted to stay where they were. He wants to grow, and she never felt like what she wanted would really matter to him, so she doesn't want to say anything. And even with him saying at some point within their arguments and stuff, how you can't make it seem as if like I don't support you, when you will want something in one moment and then a couple months later, whatever, you don't care. Because she was going to this market, this cute ass man who sell her whatever, okay. She, in my opinion, was flirtatious with him the same way Harper had been with Jordan. So even though I was aggravated, I was mad that they were married with a daughter, and while he's gone, she's actively enticed by this sexual man. But it also makes sense because that's what he would do with Jordan. And the man showed her this little restaurant or whatever, this little jazz club or whatever, that she would have bought and made it her restaurant. And she said, Harper, I want to buy this place or whatever. We can get it for this amount of money, whatever. I need to even call and get it. And he was gone somewhere or whatever. I feel like Tay Diggs must have been filming for All American sometime because he was gone for like 2 episodes. But she told him, I want to get this place. I need you to call and do blah, 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 blah. The issue I had with that was, Robin, why don't you call? I felt like Harper should not have such control of the money that you can call to find out about this location you want. because you were waiting for him to do, and you can't trust that mother. You can't trust Harper. You can't trust that. Okay, so I wish she would have done it herself, but whatever. But she told him, he didn't do it, and now she pissed. And I'm like, because your husband is about self. I wish she would have called and just been able to not depend on punk ass Harper, because Harper is an asshole. He only do what he wants for him. And I feel like Robin knew that, but she still followed his lead. Let me call him. And then even when the dude said, hey, is you going to put in the bid? Because it ain't happened yet. And she then knew Harper didn't do it. And she still waited on Harper. So what I mean by I wish God said, what you mean? Why did she call? Because it's what she wants. That's why I said Harper is a person where when he wants something, he's going to say it. He's going to do it because he wants it. And she's someone who just doesn't say anything. Okay, I'm going to follow his lead. And sometimes we cannot be people who follow the lead of somebody who really is for self, because it ends up fucking us over. Because Robin, this whole relationship has followed his lead from the movie to where she knew something happened with Jordan and still married him. Now you've been in this marriage and y'all already have issues. Okay, from you not wanting to move to money issues, because at one point when he said like, oh, so you donated more money to your cause? Well, yeah, we make more money. So again, him holding the purse strings, him holding the finance. It was a lot of Robin just again going along with his lead. And that was one issue that I had with Robin. I just wanted her to know what she wanted and then just go for it. Fuck him. When you know your husband only goes for self, is sometimes you have to do things your damn self. Even if he has to pay for it, you can call to find out how much it costs and what y'all need to do. At that point, he had no reason to not pay the fucking bill. And then when she got pissed that he did not go through with it, and then he said, well, it was expensive. She said, so this big ass house. But we got it because he wanted it. He didn't care how expensive a house was because he wanted it. So when she said, I wanted that restaurant, that place to be whatever, he didn't care that much because it's not what he wanted. And even him bringing up how, well, you changed your mind about stuff all the time. Yeah, 20 years ago. And I was like, because that was her thing back then. They would say, oh, didn't you want to do this, do that? No. And even him running off, when you wanted to give more money, when you wanted to do this, when you wanted to do that, I've done this, well, that's not support. So again, they fussing and they in therapy, and then they kind of get better. They get better. She admits that she has not told him how she feels, and they, they better, or whatever. Now, the movie thing, okay? Her saying how, hey, I can't come to your premiere. Even though the premiere had been planned for a while, I have something for me I don't want to miss. So they compromised to where she'll go to the premiere and then leave and go to her thing. Now, she go support him. She go to her thing. He go there, he support her. And then she said, okay, you should go enjoy your night with your people or whatever. Go have fun. I'm like, how the fuck did that turn into him fucking around with Jordan? I was so confused. Now, I was like, I need someone to fix it. Because he put Jordan on some kind of pedestal. He did not put Robin on. To me, Harper and Jordan were a what if fairy tale. I liked you in college. We almost did it in college. We almost did it, whatever. It was like they're lusting after something that never really fully formed. Because he had fully married somebody else, had a kid, she had done some progress or whatever. I'm like, it was weird to me when they went out after his movie premiere, and it was just him and Jordan because nobody else showed up. I was like, no. I know this isn't going. I know he not finna cheat. I know he not. And when they show, like, okay, they at her house because they went back to her house or whatever. It was nothing wrong with Jordan and Harper hanging out. I had no issue with them hanging out. Talking about his night of the movie. I didn't have any issue with that. My issue was once they got back to her house and they started getting a little bit, close. And then I'm like, why? I was like, no, don't. He kissed her. Oh, fuck, he kissed her. And I was like, that should not have happened. Because to me, they're not in goal. To me, that only makes sense if we all know they should be together. They shouldn't be together. They should not be together. At all. And we see the one scene of them kissing and a separate scene of them like kissing and like kind of going down. So we don't know if they had sex or not. That was not shown, but it's implied that something happened, even if it was just the kiss. To me, why? I was pissed. Why? Okay. And I feel like they work as friends. And I felt like because he and Robin were in a better place that night when he went to her event and supported her and she said, hey, they go enjoy whatever. You then left and went and kissed George. I was like, the fuck? Oh, God. I was so mad. And then when they got the call that Quentin had a heart attack and they had to both go to the hospital and they walked in and Quentin and Shelby was like, y'all two had a good night. What y'all like they knew Quentin and Shelby knew something happened. They didn't know what. They knew it was something. And even Robin knew something happened because again, she was up and he went home. And then when she confronted him about that night and she said, Quentin and Shelby went home. Candace and Murch didn't come. That only leaves you, Jordan, and her, and the Demetrius did whatever. So what is that? Who was? He said, well, not really. Meaning your ass was round there with Jordan and was not honest with me about it. Fuck you. I'm done. I want a divorce. Okay. And so what started off as them as a happy couple, beautiful little daughter, his books are making money, she's selling meal kits or whatever. They were, good or whatever. And as the time progressed, because again, the series started out in 2015 and it spans up into 2023, into 2024. So seeing all these years span out and how basically she wasn't happy, he wasn't happy, but he was still doing him. And she was just following his lead. And it was not until then, say, you know what, fuck you, I'm done. We over. We're done. So when they get divorced, because she also wanted to, she had a job offer in Ghana to be in Ghana for a summer to be cooking and shit. Okay. And she's like, yeah, I'm going, you going, me going, we all going. And because his movie got good reviews or whatever, and the studio now wants to meet with him and do this, that, and the other, he wants to still work on his shit. Fuck your shit. And her point was, I gave you 20 years of my life. You couldn't give me a month. You couldn't postpone your shit for 1 month to come to Ghana to be with me while I worked for a month in Ghana. And she was done. And so when they are going to divorce, and then, you know what I'm saying, he was like, yeah, she gonna keep the house so Mia can live there. And then she's like, I don't want that house because she never wanted that big ass house. And he said, what you mean? Like, where you gonna live? And she said, in Ghana. He was like, the fuck? No, the fuck. So even now, this is when Robin got on my nerve. Because, look, Harper ain't shit fine. But she admitted he's a great father. I do not agree with anybody choosing to leave to leave the country. She wasn't from Ghana. If she look, I was like, she has suffered. I get it. She was silent in her unhappiness in that marriage for far too long, and she deserved to divorce that motherfucker 100%. But she lost me when she was like, "I'm gonna move to Ghana with our child because I want to live in Ghana." I was like, "What?" She lost me at that point. She lost me at that point because I feel like had she wanted to leave the state, cool. I can fly a little bit to, we in New York. You want to move to Atlanta or whatever. You want to move somewhere else? I don't care. Okay. But she left Africa. Ghana is not, it's far. Passport and all that. So she fully lost me when she popped up because he was like, give her whatever she wants. The house, whatever she needs for my daughter, she can have it all. I don't care. I don't care. And then for her to say, well, I don't want the house, we can sell it and get the money because I'm gonna move to Ghana. And he like, the fuck you mean? Ghana. And I like, the fuck you mean Ghana? The country? Over there in Africa? So from New York to Ghana, I was like, bitch, no. And I was full steam ahead on Harper, like, fuck that. Nope. Nope. I want joint custody. I felt bad because she wanted to do that. And then even what made me mad was, don't try to say, well, over there, she won't get teased about how she looked and her skin tone, her hair. I was like, don't do that. Don't make it seem like we moving over there so she will be able to be black without any. No. You also, what person fully takes the daddy away from the kid? Because he would have to move to Ghana or some country closer to see his daughter on a regular basis. No one has time. It's a 14 plus hour flight. No one had the time every week for a 14-hour flight. No. And it's not fair to the daughter. That pissed me off. That pissed me off. It did. And I'm like, fuck, Harper ain't shit. He didn't kiss Jordan before. He didn't lie or whatever. Harper the fuckboy, whatever. He's a good father. And to me, you can leave a man and have a whole life and not leave the country. Okay? Not leave the country. And so it made me mad when that then became the issue. She wants a divorce, fine. I don't want one, but she do. I don't know, whatever. And now she wants to move out the country with my child, and y'all expecting me to be okay with that shit? No. And so when he went and filed for custody, like, no, I did that because I want my child to stay here. The friends got mad at him as if I was like, how was he wrong? And Jordan was the only one standing up for Harper, of course. But when Harper and Robin was fussing, and then Candace tried to step in, he said, stop. And Murch said, hey, don't talk. I wasn't talking to her. I'm talking to my wife. Get your wife out the fucking conversation. And I'm like, shoot, Candace, he wasn't talking to you. He wasn't. So that was one thing. Okay. Then when Shelby tried to say, well, except, she's a mother. And a mother will always do what's best for the child. I was like, Shelby, shut up. Shut up. Taking that girl to Ghana is not better for her. The mama wants to go to Ghana. The mama wants to. What could have been? Okay, during the summers, you go to Ghana. Y'all can spend a whole summer in Ghana. Okay, but Shelby trying to make it seem as if, well, ain't nothing wrong with her. Bitch, what? And when Quentin said, I mean not Quentin, when Harper said, oh, like you kept a secret for 10 years that Kennedy was Quentin's daughter, like that, was that the best thing for your child? What? And then Quentin said, that's right. What the fuck did you say? I was like, Shelby, it's true. Robin taking the daughter to Ghana is fucked up. Shelby keeping that secret for 10 years that the daughter Kennedy was really Quentin's child, meaning he lost 10 years with his daughter, even though he knew the little girl as like a niece, he lost out on father-daughter shit. Shelby, that was fucked up. So Quentin saying, well, that was right. And she getting me like, why? I'm like, nigga, truthfully. And then he said, keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth, nigga. I was like, man, look, I cackled, okay? I was like, y'all so stupid. I don't know. But again, I was surprised that everybody came down on Harper as if he was wrong for being upset that his wife, who's born and raised in New York, wants to take their child and move her to Ghana out the blue. I was dead, okay? And Harper said, bitch, you held Quentin's daughter for him for 10 years. And Quinn said, she sure the fuck did. What the fuck you say, Quinn? I said, keep my wife's name. I was like, come on now. I was like, y'all, it's so stupid, okay? And how that whole scene made all of them have to argue. And I felt like Harper wasn't wrong. Was Harper wrong for how he was in his marriage to Robin? Yes. Was Harper wrong for how he used his friends as his story for that damn book and fucked up? Yes. Yes. But you came around here and want to take my child to a whole different country. And then when she said, well, the door is always open. I'm like, of course, you're in Ghana. I can't pop up in Ghana. I have to get my shots. I got to get my passport. I have to get a longest flight. I have to make a plan to come all the way there, clear my schedule to see her. Right. It was Q and it was Jordan who was like, let's not. And I'm like, right, who would want that child in a different country? It was stupid. Now, to me, I felt like what he should, because when she said when in the mediation, when he said, look, I do not agree with that or whatever, and she said, well, that's fine, but we're moving to Ghana. I would have immediately did whatever I had to do to make her stay in the country. And I would say, you can move to any states here where I don't need a passport to come see my child, and that's fine. But you can't take my child out the country and move. If you want me to pay for a summer home for you in any place here, whatever, fine. I'll get you a house, a timeshare in Ghana, and every summer I'll pay for you to fly your ass over there and stay there for the summer, but come the fuck back. I was like, I was pissed. So pissed. And I think because of how much people see Harper as the bad friend, the asshole husband, they felt like, okay, folks, well, I didn't understand. I was like, yeah. And then Shelby getting mad at Jordan. I was like, the fuck are you mad at Jordan? How? I was like, I don't think any parent, I don't think any parent who is not from another country should say, hey, I'm going to divorce my husband, and because I feel like I want to live in Ghana, I'm going to take our child to a different country. Do not agree with it at all. At all. But she took him over there anyway. Because he finally agreed when someone told him, I think it was Murch, who said, anytime you have a choice to choose between your shit and someone else's shit, you choose yourself every time. You always choose you, Negro. And then at one point when him and the daughter was like on a little, walkabout or whatever in the park, and the daughter gave her food to a homeless man or whatever, and said, yeah, we have food at home, mommy, so he saw, damn, she like a mama. She's this and that. So he agreed to let her go to Ghana. I was pissed too. I was like, how the fuck? What? She can be, her mama didn't get their way in Ghana. Her mama got their way in New York. So I felt like the move to Ghana thing. I'm like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Because my thing is, yes, she's going to have a time living in Ghana, whatever, but she's also missing being raised and spending time with her father. And I think that's unfair. Robin married him and probably was just stuck in a bubble, that whole marriage or whatever, and I get that. But she moved to Ghana for herself. It was not for her daughter. And can't nobody tell me different. So that was that part, okay? It skips ahead. You know what I'm saying? We see Harper and wrote some book or whatever. He's a great book writer still or whatever. I got my friends who love me. We see that Lance is engaged to the lady. We see everybody still together. Jordan still looks single. And Robin, this was like, I think 2 years later. So 2 years later, Robin is still in Ghana. And she allowed the daughter to come back from Ghana to surprise Harper at his little event or whatever. But I was so pissed. Like, you really in Ghana? You really in Ghana? And had to fly the little girl back to the States with your mama for her to see her father. I was mad. So I was happy that, Candace and Murch were still happy, whatever. I was happy that, Lance had a son. He had the new fiance. Okay, what she had? Him, his fiance, who never got married or got divorced or whatever, and they ran into each other because she was transferred to America all these years later. She was transferred to America to work at a location here. Now they're together. Okay. But a part of me feel like the worst part of it was the fact that Harper's daughter lives in Ghana. I'm like, so to me, I'm like, y'all made some fucked up decisions. Harper's daughter is in Ghana. We're still not going to bring up that Shelby kept that daughter from Q for 10 years. I'm like, Robin's still single. Okay, but what I did like was after the divorce, when Harper was going to figure out where to move to, we going to sell the house, and I'm moving to Brooklyn or what Bronx. I don't know, closer to Jordan. And Jordan said, I can't be the soft place you land. Like, you have to take time, grieve your marriage or whatever, and it can't be with me or any other woman. Okay? But I can always be here for you as your friend. And they kiss, and I'm like, see, they weren't in goals, but I'm gonna say I'm here. But then when we see, this 2 years later, and Harper getting this award for this. Oh, also, because at one point, Harper had wrote like this a little story thing, like a couple pages of story. And when Robin read it, she thought it was about her and him. And it wasn't. It was really about him and Jordan. And I felt like when my mind, I don't know, honey. Come on now, Angie. When we see the book he wrote, I felt like that book was about him and Jordan. And so the 2 years later, we still see they're not together. Or it's implied that they're still friends and not a couple. So to me, that meant, okay, if it's 2 years later, has Harper and Jordan got it closer to being together? So that can be another part to another series. Lance and the girl who's engaged. Can we see their wedding and how that may happen? Okay. Shelby and Quentin who are together. We know. Also they touched on Shelby going through menopause. That was great too. They touched on that too. But Mia, if Mia come back and she older and she has now a hard time with a daddy because she been gone for 10 years in Ghana and now she has to kind of get close to it. It's stuff can continue over, even if it's the kids. Okay. Harper stay right about what he be doing. You know what I'm saying? But again, I've been talking too long, y'all. Overall, it was written, produced, directed, executed amazingly well. Even the issues I had wasn't enough to maybe not like it. I like the fact that it wasn't a cookie cutter, perfect wrap up in a bow type of situation. I think that may be why they had Robin move to Ghana. Because that ain't wrapped up in a bow. That's difficult. Okay. Even LJ having to deal with his father's BS, how that will progress going forward. Quinn's father, like why we never got any information on Shelby's family. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that can come about in this way or that way or whatever. But I like the fact that we saw this cast of amazingly talented individuals play these characters who are all flawed. And in life, we are all flawed. Everyone, okay? Be it Lance and his intolerance for the son who was non-binary, be it Shelby not telling Quentin for 10 years they had a child, okay? Be it Robin, who was a yes woman to her husband for all those years and then moved her ass to Ghana. Be it Harper, who was a fuckboy and will forever be one. But he's also a loving friend and fucked up person, but a loving friend. Jordan, who for the life of me would never be able to be around my husband. Okay. But was also a great friend to everyone, really. What's that, Robin? Candace's a character who had to really grow up from, because all we knew of her was her being a stripper. So from her talking about that to doing this whole thing to help her daughter was amazing to see her growth. Murch having to just stand up for himself to his wife and his family and his friends. And then Terrence Howard is Quentin, who was for sure the comedic relief. Seeing him grow, show love for his wife, become a father, have to show compassion for his father. I think his character to me showed the most growth in this series because Quentin in the first movie, he was a fucked up person. He was messy. And in this series, he was not messy. He was so entertaining. And we were able to see them grow from these young kids coming together for a friend's wedding that went crazily wrong to getting back together for the holidays and then one friend dying to getting together for another wedding and then having to just acknowledge the mistakes they made and how none of them are the same as they were when they were younger. So I love that. Because what is going on here? I just saw Martell was on live and I didn't know why. or here with the kids. Because I'm like, if you buy stuff, you might cuss fuck with the kids. Anyway, but I felt like this series, which again was 8 episodes, it showed growth. It showed how you can make a quality series and tell great stories with these characters. Not Tyler, not Tyler Perry would have fucked up the whole script. Why ain't y'all talking about Tyler? Tyler Perry ain't shit. But I agree. I agree with y'all. I do feel like this showed how, because y'all know Malcolm Lee, who is the one who did this series, the 2 movies in the show. To me, showed how you have to let the characters evolve, and you have to let the story play out. You can't keep it. That's one reason why I felt like we did not need Jordan and Harper to mess around, because we've seen that play out before. And I think we didn't need that in order for Robin and Harper to break up. I think had they left that out, or had they waited to after Harper and Robin divorced, and then when him and Jordan met up, if they had a kiss when she said, "I will always love you, but I need you to grieve that would have been okay." And then in 2 years, had they been together, that would have made sense for me. But for me, showing us that not only did Jordan, but also Harper both get into this moment of them kissing, or whatever happened, they at least kiss or whatever. Y'all too old for that. But again, old people make tough decisions too. So to me, that's also realistic that, sometimes people do dumb stuff for their old thing. But this series is gonna make it hard for other series to be bullshit. Basically, this was an amazing series. Y'all know the Fresh. Well, the Fresh. It's called the Fresh Prince. What's it called? Bel Air. The Bel Air show that comes back out in, I believe, February. Seeing like it's gonna be good too. Okay, so a lot of things. A lot of things must have. You're not must have. I'm reading sex. Pause. A lot of things will have to be produced better going forward, because if not, what I'm saying, it's gonna like, y'all can't do shit right. They made The Best Man into an 8-part series that we all loved and binge watched in 2 days over Christmas time. So I want better for it. But again, to me, even with the things that we all don't like, the series is amazing. I can see myself rewatching it over and over and over, because I think the second time I watched, I caught jokes I did not catch before. Because in the one scene where, Harper is sad because Robin then left, he in the house by himself, he's all sad and depressed. And the guys come over one by one, walk in the house, with food and drink, and they finna play cards. Because again, we all sad, what we do, play cards. We're gonna come over here and help our boy. And when they're all at the table playing about to play cards, and you hear Lance say, "They about to run a Boston on your ass," and I bust out. I did not hear that the first time. I heard it the second time. That's a nod back to Boys in the Hood. That was something that was said in Boys in the Hood. I'm like, oh my God. And that's why they all laugh so hard, because of that. So again, watching it more than once will for sure give you a different aspect every time. You'll catch more and more and more and more and more. So I can see myself watching it at least 3 more times, probably before New Year. Well, not 3 more times, maybe at least one more time before the New Year. Okay, one more time. But I love it. I love the nostalgia of it. I love the fact that it was entertaining, that each episode kept you just in it. Just in it. Okay? But I'm done, y'all. It's been 2 hours. My throat dry. I have to find a text. But I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all have already subscribed to my channel. To become a JayBird. I hope y'all follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, also on Twitter. Do not forget to like the video. Do not forget to share the video. Okay. I will be live. I think tomorrow I want to do a gossip type chat or look at all the celebrity people's Christmas photos. I don't know what, but tomorrow afternoon it's gonna be something. Okay, I'm off work until next week Tuesday, so I'm gonna be live around between 3 and 6 daily. Okay, I won't have no 9 p.m. lives. While I work, it'll be earlier, whatever. When I'm back at work, it'll be back at night time. So again, I hope y'all enjoyed. I love you all. Okay. Any more Black series? Look, if y'all have any of the series, maybe we'll discuss that tomorrow too. I don't know. We shall see. Good night. I love you all. I had a great time. A great time had by all. I love you all. Happy holidays. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. You can go on my channel. I have other videos available. I love you all. Gotta go. Bye.